Cats have been both feared and worshipped as mystical creatures with direct connection to the supernatural. They were once known as guardians of the underworld and moved through the night surreptitiously, completely at ease in the dark, because their bright, luminous eyes see far more than ours. Come, peer into the shadows to see what lurks there, as tonight we take a look through the cat's eye. Welcome, fellow Mooncats. Welcome, viewers new and returning, to the second in a series of 8 special readings taking us all the way up to Halloween night. Each reading is drawn from an element associated with the hallowed evening, as we use tarot divination to continue on with the rich history of divination at this time of year, a time well known to be auspicious for communication with spirit. And so tonight we peer into the shadows through the eye of the cat. 2 cats sit at the center of the table. The first is carved from orange calcite, a stone that integrates your physical body with the spiritual world, aligning you with greater intelligence and the frequency of astral projection. The second cat is carved from obsidian, a stone renowned for its ability to block, purge, and transform negative energy. I will give you a moment now to choose which cat will guide you through the shadows. Feel free to choose both if they are calling to you. For those of you who chose the orange calcite cat, this is your reading. And welcome to Through the Eyes of the Cat. The concept of this reading is similar to a shadow reading, but instead of looking within yourself, you are looking at what's surrounding you, what's in your atmosphere. And we're looking for what's hiding in the shadows, just beyond your ability to see. I'm starting with some major arcana. Card here. And we're looking at what major and important things are coming your way. What's surrounding you in the ether? What's just within your reach? The first 2 cards we have are the Hermit and the World. Now I'm going to get a closer look at these cards as I talk about them. And then I'll probably need to back that camera up again. But let's go ahead and adjust for a closer look. Because the orange calcite stone helps with the marriage of the physical and the spiritual, there are certain strengths that it calls to. And one is the strength of developing your intellect or developing a higher intelligence. So here we have the Hermit card. The Hermit card is the first card that came out. And the story of the hermit is that he withdraws into his cave for a lengthy meditation and contemplation and study until he is able to emerge with fresh insights. And particularly, he has this connection to divine light, this little star in the lantern that guides his way and helps him walk the true path. So with the Hermit card coming out first, we're looking at scholarship. We're looking at a kind of intellectual achievement that leads to revelation, a new understanding of things, a new understanding that's going to ring true with divine light and bring you closer to your soul's purpose. This is, as we say, in the ether for you right now, even though you're not seeing it. So the encouragement here is to study, hit the books, read everything that interests you, especially when you're looking into esoteric topics. And then we have the World card. This is a card of great success. This is emerging through your cycles, as we understand that the concept in the tarot is that we're continuously cycling through karmic cycles and going through all the major arcana and then starting over again and going through them again. So when we reach the World card, this is like a card of graduation, a card of elevation, raising up, getting to the new level. And there's so much talk right now about shifting into the next frequency, the next higher frequency, and this card would indicate success in doing that. And so what you may not see right now is the beautiful outcome of where you're at right now. Now the Hermit's path is a little dark and lonely. It's a little challenging in that way for being solo and solitary and a bit lonely, but the outcome will be quite beautiful and something that connects you greatly with your own inner power. And I'm seeing these beautiful creatures, which are wonderful, powerful animals: the horse, the lion, the hawk, and of course the cat. Okay, so let's pull some more tarot cards and see if we can get down into the specifics. I'm going to change our camera view one more time. Okay, with a full tarot deck, let's see if we can get some more details coming out right away. We do. We have a 7 of Cups. We have a King of Pentacles. And the 4 of Wands. Okay. So with the Seven of Cups, this is someone who's sort of lost in their daydreams with no direction. And this is a caution that goes along with the Hermit side. So here is the positive element that's in your shadows, and here is a potential challenge that's lying in the shadows. And this challenge is to find mental clarity and focus so that your energy can be more towards becoming the hermit than in just staying in this. It's kind of a happy place, and that can make it difficult to leave. Notice how the cat is turned away from this very bleak landscape over here. I'm going to bring the card closer. See how the cat has turned away from that very bleak landscape, and they're ignoring that. They're purposefully ignoring that. And you see that spilled cup back there. So there's a lot of desolation and pain and sorrow, that has driven this person to escape into fantasy in one way or another. There are many ways in which we can find escape from the day, from what we carry from our experiences. So escape can take the form of kind of being in a daydreamy world, or it can take the form of constantly watching television and movies, and reading books. And as I say this, I can feel all this resistance, but understand that it's not wrong to do those things. But when it's the only thing we'll look at, when it's all that we will do, when we absolutely refuse to see the full picture, then it becomes a pitfall. There seems to be in your physical presence, there's definitely concern about managing money. And so this is that King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles is ultimately successful at the management, and there's plenty here. As you can see, these great vast fields. Only a small amount of the field has been harvested, but look at how much that already has yielded here. Here in the back. So this is like, I don't know, money wheat. So, or money for the wheat. But there's plenty here behind the throne, as you can see. And the king is looking down at the field, contemplating what he has. So, in other words, okay, I've got all this money now. What's the wisest way to use it or to grow it? Okay, and then if you're not feeling like the King of Pentacles at the moment, it may be simply because that's all lying in the shadows for you. It's on its way. So when he's looking over a harvest, this is something that has taken time to grow. So it depends on what stage you're at in that process of growing the money. It may be that you're just beginning to plant some seeds right now, or it may be that you're beginning to watch those seeds grow and trying to keep them nourished. It may be that you are harvesting, you are collecting, and you are receiving the income. Okay, and then finally, I want to look at this Four of Wands is a very celebratory card. It's very happy. The Four of Wands represents achieving that stable foundation that perhaps you've been looking for some time. So this is a happy home life. Buying a house and being secure, financially secure enough to not feel worried about having bought the house. Being able to enjoy it. Being able to just enjoy that sense of security and to share that with friends and family. There is a celebratory aspect to the card, which is almost like a homecoming after a long trip. It's being able to share the joy. And so as you experience success, you're going to have this great foundation beneath you. There's money, opportunities for money around you, or you've already invested in those opportunities and now you're harvesting that money. And then what to do with your time is to hit the books, hit the library, study, and learn as much as you can about what interests you, especially in esoteric topics. Okay, at this point we're going to seek wisdom from the Blind Spot Oracle cards. These are a deck of cards created by Teal, Swan, and they're meant to show you what it is in the situation that you don't see. And we start with here, number 18. I'm going to take one more. And there we go, number 70. Okay, and I'm going to look at these as corresponding to the major arcana cards. Let me set that up for just a moment. Okay, so I have set up those oracle cards next to the major arcana. We're going to get into that. I had a thought as I was doing the arranging, and the thought is basically that we all have different doorways into our spiritual development, and considering the Hermit card and the orange calcite, it's clear that your intellect is your way through to your spirituality. Okay. So the oracle card for this this sigil for number 18 is avoidance. So if you have this card, then that means you're avoiding something. You have a psychological blind spot where you're perhaps procrastinating or finding yourself suddenly diverted as you go to do something. Look for areas in your life where you are in a state of avoidance. And if we look again at that Seven of Cups card, you can remember how that cat is turning away from what it doesn't want to deal with, doesn't want to see, and choosing instead to focus only on a fantasy world that's happier and more comfortable. Okay, so this card means not just that there's a specific task you're avoiding, or that your life is kind of filled with avoidance. It's become a way of life for you. Some examples are, instead of processing emotional pain, diving into addictions. And that's a cover-up, but it's also an escape. instead of standing up for yourself and raising certain concerns or issues or having your opinion, your actual opinion, instead of one that's more socially correct, so that you can avoid conflict. So this would be another example. You might actually be living a lie and not being true to who you really are. And this would be another example. And the thing about this particular blind spot is that you know what it is that you're avoiding. And you may not want to admit it. It may be difficult to admit, but you do know. It is in your conscious mind. All of this is an attempt to protect yourself. It's an attempt to avoid experiencing pain. But the time has come to face it, to face the pain, to process it so you can get through it, and then come to that point of resolution. So with this context, looking again at the Hermit card in a very symbolic way, the Hermit retreating into the cave can be you retreating into your subconscious and facing it, facing the reality of what's there, and then emerging from that painful process with new light, new direction. And this is what closes out your karmic cycles in a successful way. And there's some residual pain that you have been avoiding confronting that needs to be processed. And the important thing to understand here is that the pain isn't going to process itself. You're not going to wake up one day and suddenly feel better without doing the work. So yes, it can be a difficult thing to confront, but necessary to go through that process, and just having the courage to face what's there, just having the courage to go through the pain, knowing that there's light on the other side, as they say, darkest just before dawn. The blind spot with the World card is called wavering. So the World card is accomplishment and achievement, even world renown, like fame and positive fame, not infamy. You can't get there, though, if you stay stuck. So if you just... I'm familiar with this, too, and it's a hard one. If you're just kind of giving up on trying to define yourself and just... instead of making a decision, choosing not to decide anything, refusing to commit to anything, keeping yourself in limbo, and just this would be the opposite of like chariot energy. Chariot energy is where you take the wheel and you have this driving force and you're ready to take on anything and succeed. The mood here is one of just refusing to take the wheel, refusing to even try to make a direction happen in your life. And there is some advice with this oracle about being in this situation. So if you're finding it difficult to make decisions in your life, finding it difficult to commit to choices, then that is because there's fear about the consequences of making the choice. And so to begin that process of confronting this fear, you can ask, what do I think the consequences are for each potential decision? Why is it scary to make this choice? And then if you look at your worst case scenario, what is the potential consequence making me aware that I want? So recognize that no decision is really a decision at all. It's am I saying? So what I'm trying to say is, refusing to make a decision, it puts you in a stuck place. It puts your life in limbo, where you just stop progressing. So it's time to find and listen to your inner voice, and then start making some solid decisions and turning those decisions into action. So with this influence of the orange calcite, as we've delved into what is surrounding you that you don't see, then what we're looking at here is opportunity for growth. This may not just be personal development, but also your financial and foundational security are dependent upon you being able to make choices and take action in regards to those choices. And in so doing, then you break out of that fantasy world. You break out of and away from the stagnancy, and you begin to light that true path and to find your way forward. So really, though there may be a lot of work involved, this is a very positive reading, as it's talking about how you're destined towards this success. If it's showing up here in the world card, it's in the ether surrounding you. So that means it is an option. It is a potential outcome in your life, and so you want to reach out and grab it. Okay, this concludes the reading for the orange calcite cat. I hope that you have enjoyed your reading, and I hope you're looking forward to the next reading in our series, which we'll post tomorrow night. So please subscribe if you haven't. That way you can receive notifications of when the new videos post. But my aim is for them to post at midnight each night leading up to Halloween. I am also offering free personal readings in the months of November and December. So go sign up for a reading on the Calendly page as long as spaces last. Ultimately, I want to say thank you for coming by. Thank you for receiving these messages. And I hope to catch you in another video. For those of you who chose the Obsidian Cat, this is your reading. And welcome to Through the Cat's Eye. So in this reading, we're looking at we're peering into the shadows and looking for what is surrounding you. So this is very similar to what we would call a shadow reading, except instead of looking within, we're going to be looking at what surrounds you. What is around you that you don't see. And we're going to begin with Major Arcana cards. The first card to come out is the Death card. Our second card is the World card, which is funny because that just came up in the last reading too. You know, this is something that's surrounding all of us right now because all the talk in the air about this is the time to shift into new earth energy. This is the time to shift to that higher vibrational existence, which is a change in the way we think about and approach life. So it also makes sense to see the Death card here. The World card indicates a successful achievement, successfully rising up into that new world, emerging into it, and doing so with achievement, acclaim, being recognized for your success. And the Death card is telling us that there is a profound transformation taking place that is the kind of life experience that once you go through it, you come out of it a different person altogether. Okay, so we're going to look at some more details by turning to a full tarot deck. This is the Black Cat Tarot. Okay. Something there. Okay, so now that we have those cards, I'm going to change the camera angle a little bit so that we can see them more clearly. What I am gleaning from these cards, or sensing is uniting these cards, is that you've been through something painful. You've been through painful experiences that have brought you to this precipice where you're ready for change. And what's interesting here is that you're going to express that change to find and express what you have learned through an acquired skill. An artistry or a work that you do where you're an apprentice. And this could be self-taught, or you may actually work with someone who would be like a master of the trade and learn from them. But it's learning by doing. Learning by actually physically practicing the art. So the Queen of Swords and the Death card unite. And the Queen of Swords is all about knowing her truth and holding her ground. So there's nothing that can take the Queen of Swords off of her throne, because she's powerful and prepared to defend. We see her sharpening the knife in this, the sword in this picture. Swords also, think of the term, the sword of truth. They represent our thoughts and our mental clarity. And so this is one where affirmations may be useful to give yourself your full inner strength and your inner power to hold your ground and to hold on to your truth about who you are, not the stories that others would tell. And now there's the Temperance card at the center here. And so the Temperance card means that we must also sort of pamper ourselves a little bit as you have been through something difficult. You're not. Temperance is all about balance. So you're not going to overindulge. You're not going to get into a stagnant state. What this is just being kind to yourself along the way. So you're having that spa day, or you're taking time to enjoy sensual pleasures. Pleasures appealing to the senses. So there may be incense and oils and bubble baths and that sort of thing, which is tending to your soul, tending to yourself, and taking good care of yourself is actually a responsible thing to do, but a thing that we do tend to neglect. So a little self-care, a little self-love at this time. Then the Eight of Pentacles marries with the World card. Accomplishment, achievement, world renown. You have within you some latent talent. This is what's in the shadows around you. This is what's in the ether. This is a potential very powerful for you at this time, is to tune in and develop a skill that you have no idea how good you could be at this. This is the feeling of it. Like, you have no idea just how good you would be at doing this. And you gotta find what that is through trial and error. Be curious, be adventurous, be bold. And it is a kind of artistry or a skill level that is acquired through the work of it. And so plan on rolling up your sleeves and trying maybe a few things out until you know exactly what that is. And so the promise here is that when you finally find what it is, that latent skill or talent of yours, and you finally do give it a try and finally do keep at it until you get better and better at it, because you have a clearer and clearer understanding of it, and then your work becomes so valuable, so recognized, and then you have accomplishment and acclaim there in the world card. Okay, so let's consult the oracle, and we're using the blind spot oracle cards. I'm going to do that now. Our first one is 26. That's going to go alongside the death card. Okay, and the next one is 14, and that's going alongside the world card over here, and give me just a moment to set that up. So card 26, this sigil is impact, and as what this oracle does is it looks for what your blind spots may be, particularly in your own psyche and your own behavior that might be causing problems for you. And then this is the idea that there's something in your thoughts, in your beliefs, words, or actions that is hurting others and you're not aware of it. Even body language can impact others. So when you're speaking, what kind of words are you choosing? Are you provoking negative feelings in others? And so here you may want to take a look at the way that you're relating to other people and try to understand the effect that you're having upon them. It may be with that Queen of Swords card that you may have become overly defensive because of having gone through painful experiences. And that's part of the story of the Queen on that throne, is that she has been through some very painful betrayals, and her belief in herself, or her return to herself, is what gives her the strength to be on the throne. Alright, I don't know if this image is lining up. I had a little accident where the camera fell. So if it looks misaligned or different, that's the reason why. So we're ready now to discuss the next oracle card, and that's number 14. Number 14 is the gift. When we go through difficult circumstances, it's easy to get drawn into the negative, and seeing how it's a draw seeing all the drawbacks and seeing how it is hurting or damaging. But there's two sides to every coin, which is to say, and this is not an easy thing, but that when we go through something difficult, something positive is gained from it. And so sometimes what you don't see is the benefits of the difficulties or the hard times that you've been through. So there is a very beautiful message here that there is something of value, maybe one gift, maybe many, in every experience, even our most painful ones. And so if we just throw the whole situation away, that's like a terrible expression, but throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So you want to look for what positive things can you gain from the experiences that you went through. Look at how it may have served you and what has it given to you, instead of how it hurt you or what it took away. There's a bigger picture here to see, and what's happening is that you're just not seeing that bigger picture yet. So oftentimes when we have goals and desires, the universe, as we try to manifest those, just knows much better how to get there than we do. But I can't always see how to get to that end point, to that place of success and acclaim. So that's where the trust comes in. And by looking to what can be positively gained, can we regain that positive outlook? Can we move forward with confidence? Can we then, advance and progress and succeed the tasks in life? Okay, so the things around you that you don't see are that there are some beautiful gifts in the difficult experiences that you've had, that you have a latent talent or skill or ability, one in which you're going to have great success, but is yet undiscovered. And so the encouragement here is to use trial and error to get to that. Be aware of the Queen of Swords. So you have earned your position on your throne, that self-authority in your life through your hardships. And that is a rightful place to be. And the queen sits on her throne, sharpening her sword, prepared to defend her place. But the caution there is not to be overly defensive and overly cutting. Try to be aware of how your behavior may affect others. And yes, times have been hard, so take a little time for some self-love and care. And that by giving yourself that nurture, then it's easier, much easier to create. All right, that concludes the reading for the Obsidian Cat. And I hope that you have enjoyed your reading. We have still 6 more readings to go that are going to take us all the way up to Halloween night. So I hope that you do tune in. I plan on publishing one each midnight until the Halloween evening arrives. If you're interested in a more personal and more specific message, then you may want to consider signing up for a free reading. I'm offering free readings in the month of November and December. You can find the link to my Calendly page in the description below, and following that link, you'll be able to sign up for a reading. Thank you for coming by. I deeply appreciate your viewership, and I hope to catch you in another video.